want to start with a look ahead to the divisional round. From one perspective with two of the teams. You've got both the Packers and the Texans going on the road Saturday and Sunday to face off against the number one seed in each conference. 49ers in the NFC, Ravens in the AFC. Over the years, that one seed that is at home for the wild card weekend is potentially vulnerable against a team that wins in the wild card weekend and that had to win in the final week of the regular season when that one seed was quite possibly taking its foot off the gas, as both the 49ers and the Ravens did. Let's start with the Packers. The Packers go to Dallas after beating the Bears week 18 to punch their ticket to the postseason. Remember, a year earlier with Aaron Rodgers at quarterback, they failed to beat the Lions, didn't make it to the playoffs. This year, they get in as the last seed in the NFC. They become the first 7 seed to win a super wild card round game, and they gain a ton of confidence. It kind of reminded me of when the Packers beat the Falcons in the divisional round 2010. 48-20, I think, was the final score. Destroyed the Falcons, who were the 1 seed. That was just another step on the way to the Packers making it to and winning the Super Bowl. And that was before anybody regarded Aaron Rodgers as one of the greatest quarterbacks of all time. Now here we are with the Packers having a chance to go in and maybe catch the 49ers flat-footed. It will not be easy. But think about the pressure on the two teams. There's none on the Packers. Nobody expects them to win. It'll be a win if they just cover the spread. 49ers, all the expectations are on them. Now, they may be good enough to overcome it. They may be good enough that it doesn't matter, that it will be 3 weeks between them playing in games that mattered while the Packers keep grinding away and winning and building confidence. But we've seen a couple of postseason games in recent years between the Packers and the 49ers with Aaron Rodgers at quarterback, and they didn't go well at all for the Packers. This is the opportunity for the 49ers and the Packers to give us a game that maybe will be exciting, maybe will be close, and may involve the Packers finding a way to upset the heavily favored number 1 seed. And I want to give, yet again, more praise to one specific individual in the Packers organization and to the Packers organization generally. Let me start there. I made the point over the weekend about how these multi-billion-dollar businesses that are NFL teams are run like mom and pop shops because you get the team in the family. Somebody accumulates enough cash that they can afford a team. They buy the team. Then whoever it was in the family that had the money to buy the team dies. Somebody else gets the team. Somebody who may have no qualifications whatsoever to run a team, not even the first idea how to run a team, is sitting in the captain's chair of this entity that's worth $8 billion, $7 billion, $10 billion, who knows? It's crazy when you think about it. As I've said before, there's no test you have to take to become an owner. You got to take 2 tests to drive a car, written, and you have to go out and show you can drive the car. You don't have to do anything to become an owner. You either have enough money to go buy the team, or you're related by blood or marriage to the person who dies and decides to make you the winner of an NFL franchise. It is nuts, except in Green Bay. Now, they didn't plan to become a corporation. They needed money back in the early days of the NFL. The NFL hadn't thought to say to the Packers, let's not do this because you're going to create a mess. You're going to make it impossible for anyone to ever buy the team. We can never move the team to a larger market, which works out perfectly for Green Bay. Not so much for the NFL, although I think it's great for the NFL to have that one city that's got the throwback feel to it because the Packers are never going anywhere. So the corporate structure, I mean, think about this. Mark Murphy, CEO of the team, he earned that role through experience, education, and demonstrated qualities that the board of directors were looking for in a president of the team. This isn't something that just falls to you because you're the family member that the owner who died decided to give the team to. No, you have to go out and earn it. And that's why, even though the idea of corporate control of the NFL is a little scary on the surface, it's got to be better than having these teams passed around from family member to family member with no idea that anyone who gets control of the team is going to know what they're doing. And they're going to make bad decisions. They're going to fail to get along with great coaches. They're just going to run the team into the ground. Maybe they're going to be too cheap. Maybe they don't care about winning. They just care about taking their cut of the national TV revenue. So at some level, it would be better to have corporations owning these teams, because then there would be a CEO who is qualified, at least has some objective qualifications to run a team and experience. And then you would have a board of directors overseeing the whole process. You'd have corporate governance committees. It wouldn't just be the whimsy of one person doing whatever they want. At times, it's been a detriment for the Packers because sometimes you need someone to roll out of bed and come to work and say, you're fired. Most of the time, though, it's probably better to have someone who truly is qualified to run a team running the team. That's my praise for the Packers generally. Specifically, we need to give more credit to Matt LaFleur. And I'm not supposed to disclose any of my votes for the AP awards, even though apparently the betting locks at the end of the regular season. So it's not like I'm going to move the needle by saying this person or that person is on my ballot. I said this on PFT Live. Matt LaFleur is on my 3-deep Coach of the Year ballot. I'm not going to say which spot. Matt LaFleur deserves greater consideration and respect for what he's done with the Green Bay Packers. Think about what he walked into. What do you mean? He walked into a situation with the greatest quarterback of all time. Yeah, you could say that, or you could say he walked into a situation with a passive-aggressive, delicate genius who wanted to do things his way, who used the media to set up a situation where Matt LaFleur had to completely abandon the way he wanted to run his offense to give Aaron Rodgers the power to change the play at the line of scrimmage to whatever he wanted, whenever he wanted, even though that's not the way the offense was designed. And Matt LaFleur wisely realized, you know what, if I'm going to get the most out of this guy, I got to figure out how to coexist with him. I have to adapt to him. I can't expect him to adapt to me. Plenty of coaches would have just provoked a fight with Aaron Rodgers and run him out of town before the relationship even got off the ground. And LaFleur benefited from it. They won 13 games 3 years in a row. Now, think about the dysfunction that comes into the building when Jordan Love is drafted via round one. And God forbid they didn't call the delicate genius to give him a heads up that they were drafting Jordan Love. I'm being a little sarcastic there. They probably should have, especially because they know who they're dealing with. But maybe they deliberately didn't tell him because of that. They wanted to wake him up a little bit, and it worked. MVP 2020, MVP 2021, Matt LaFleur guiding the ship the entire way. He got some great performances out of Aaron Rodgers. Instead of fighting with him, he found a way to work with him, coexist with him as long as he could. And then they flipped to Jordan Love, and it was a little rocky, but look at where they are and look at what it's done. And look at how many plays against the Cowboys where you would look at number 10, and boy, you could swear that was number 12, throwing off the back foot, flick of the wrist. We saw the signs in the preseason that Jordan Love could do it. The biggest sign was he's learned how to not just bring his fastball all the time like Trey Lance was doing in San Francisco. There are moments where you drop it in. There are moments where you fire it in. You have to know how to regulate the arc and the speed of the throw based upon the circumstance of the intended target. Do I need to cut through the space between me and the receiver? Or do I have to drop it in over the top of maybe the outreached arms of defensive back? Jordan Love was showing us that in the preseason. And we had some fun with our friend Adam Shine when Shine, and I think he was doing it to be entertaining. But, you know, the idea that Jordan Love can't play and that Jordan Love's going to be a disaster. And Shine has since backtracked wisely, as I did after I said something about the Ravens doing something or having something done to them by the 49ers that I was wrong about. When you're wrong, you just got to admit it and move on. And Shine has admitted he was wrong about Love, and I thought he was wrong. I thought Love was going to have something. And about halfway through the season, it's like, I'm not quite sure what they have. And the Packers weren't all that bashful about saying, hey, the rest of this season is pretty important for Jordan Love. And look at what he's done. Made it to the final 8, has a chance to go to San Francisco and beat the 49ers and vault into the NFC Championship, which would either be the Buccaneers hosting the Packers or the Lions hosting the Packers. Either way, it's an old NFC Central rivalry. What if we get the Bay of Pigs as the NFC Championship game like we did a few years ago when it was Aaron Rodgers and Tom Brady, although this time it'll be Jordan Love and Baker Mayfield. Hi, it's Mike Florio. Thanks for watching PFT on YouTube. Hit subscribe for the latest news and analysis from Pro Football Talk.